Welcome back to Hardball. President Obama set off a storm of controversy within the Catholic community when he accepted the University of Notre Dame's invitation to deliver the commencement address there next month. Abortion opponents are outraged that the country's premier Catholic university, or one of them, chose to honor a president who supports abortion rights. So, should President Obama be allowed to speak at Notre Dame, or does his record on abortion clash with the university's core principles? This is the parochial school segment. We have Pat Buchanan and Lawrence O'Donnell both joining us. Gentlemen, you're both smart guys. I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to get out of your way, and it is this. I am a parochial school product, as I believe the both of you are. I've never met anyone who is pro-death. I'm a Catholic. I buy into the entire range of social justice programs that are the foundation of the Catholic faith, including a respect for all life at each and every level. So, Pat Buchanan, let's start with you. Why is it that I am in favor of President Obama, and people might want to yell at me for that, going to Notre Dame?
I wouldn't yell at you for that. Let me tell you why. It's not Obama. Why I think Father Jenkins, whom I know, I think made a terrible mistake here. Mike, Notre Dame is an embodiment and a transmitter of Catholic values, teachings, doctrine. It stands for certain uncontradicted truths. Abortion is an intrinsic evil. It is the slaughter of the innocent unborn, and 50 million have perished in the United States. Catholics have fought for 35 years to turn this around, to reverse Roe v. Wade. And the premier Catholic university, or one of them, as you said, invites to the campus someone who is militantly pro-abortion, for partial birth abortion, federal funding of abortions abroad, federal funding in the United States, Freedom of Choice Act, which would eliminate all restraints. It is a sign of moral befuddlement and confusion on the part of Notre Dame, which stands for life, to have someone there who admittedly is a president of the United States, but someone who so contradicts their fundamental values, and people who love the church and love Notre Dame say you should not be doing this.
Lawrence?
You know, in my Catholic school, we pledged allegiance to the flag every day, and the president's picture was right beside that flag that we were pledging allegiance to. This is the same university that invited George W. Bush. This is the same religion that stands in adamant contradiction to the death penalty. This is the same religion whose head, the Pope, pled personally with George W. Bush not to launch an unprovoked invasion and war in Iraq. That same president, George W. Bush, who used the death penalty more than anyone who has ever been in the Oval Office, that president was welcomed at Notre Dame with none of these objections. And Mike, the only thing I would disagree with in your introduction is this has not divided the Catholic population of the United States. When we get the polls, you're going to find that well over 90% of Catholics think President Obama should go to any university to address them at any time, including Catholic universities. This is a fake controversy run by religious fanatics, and no one else is involved.
All right, well, let me talk to that. Polls don't tell you the truth. They tell you what prevailing opinion is. I don't know what they will be nationally, but I will tell you this. 10 Holy Cross Fathers at Notre Dame have challenged their own president. The vast majority of the alumni, I presume all of them predominantly good Catholics, are saying don't do this. Students have stood up. The Bishop of Fort Wayne has stood up. Other pro-life bishops have stood up.
Why did they let George W. Bush come there after killing all those individuals he individually decided to execute in Texas? Why did they let George W. Bush set foot there, Pat?
Can I tell you that?
Go ahead.
All right. Here's why. George W. Bush allowed the death penalty to go ahead. A, he didn't execute them. B, every single one of them was a conviction.
How many abortions has Obama performed?
Keep quiet and let me talk here.
This is nonsense. This is nonsense. You're saying because Bush didn't kill them with his own hands. That's what you're saying the difference is.
Are
you saying that Obama is killing fetuses with his own hands?
I'm saying he let it go forward.
This is nonsense, and you know it. This is prejudicial politics on the part of those people. This
Look,
is,
and the reason you're hysterical,
favor Republicans. That's what this is.
The reason you're hysterical here, Lawrence, is because this cuts to the core, and you know the hypocrisy here. Every one of those that went to their death in Texas was guilty of premeditated murder.
I do know the hypocrisy here. I have identified it. The Catholic Church opposes the death penalty. The Catholic Church and every cardinal opposes the death penalty.
That is complete nonsense.
Do you have a theological principle? Can you identify the theological principle in which you believe, that the Catholic Church knows that the killing of a fetus is worse than the killing of an adult?
All right, Lawrence.
Can you identify that, Pat? Because it doesn't exist.
Lawrence, let Pat respond.
All right. The response is this. Every unborn child is totally innocent. And in the United States, everybody who goes to execution is guilty of murdering someone, taking innocent blood. If you can't understand the difference between the two,
the Catholic Church does not distinguish. You are lying about what the Catholic Church position is.
Sure.
You have to agree with me right now that the Catholic Church is opposed on moral grounds to every single use of the death penalty that this country has ever done. It is opposed to it. You know it. It is equally opposed to it as it is opposed to abortion. Now tell the truth about your religion, Pat.
My religion is the Vatican had the death penalty on its books until 1969. How do you like those apples?
Tell me why they allowed George W. Bush, after killing all of those people in Texas, not to mention during the Iraq War that the Pope opposed. No, wait a minute. The Catholic Church says governors are not allowed to kill murderers. They find that the same,
where does the Catholic,
morally the same.
Tell me where.
Find it a moral equivalent of a doctor performing an abortion.
Well, why did the priests go into the death chambers with criminals when we were growing up? Are you kidding? It has been the Pope.
They still do it. They don't approve of it. The priests go in there. They do not approve of it. The Catholic Church is opposed to the death penalty.
Not every Catholic is opposed to the death penalty. Why did they let Bush go to Notre Dame? Why did these same people let Bush go to Notre Dame? Look,
not every Catholic's opposed to abortion. Most Catholics are in favor of abortion, just like most Americans. They poll identically to the rest of the population.
I don't care about polls, buddy. Listen, the moral
You just said most Catholics are in favor of the death penalty. You're the one who brought that one up.
I don't care whether they are or aren't. It is moral to take a life after someone has shed life. It has been moral for 2,000 years. Pope John Paul II said, I don't like it. I don't want it. He did not say it was a matter of faith and morals.
Is the Pope wrong about the morality of the death penalty? Tell me the Pope is wrong about the morality of the death penalty.
If he said the death penalty is immoral in every case, he would be mistaken. He never said it.
Then he is wrong. Then can the Pope be wrong about abortion if you've just declared him wrong about the death penalty?
Now, on a matter of you cannot kill innocent people, do you understand the difference between innocent people and murderers? You would kill people in wartime.
Pat, talk to the Pope. The Pope doesn't appreciate your distinction. He disagrees with it. He is opposed to the death penalty and opposed to abortion. He's opposed to both of them. And are you opposed to both of them, Pat?
No, I'm in favor of the death penalty for premeditated mass murderers. However, I do think it ought to be restricted. We kill soldiers in wartime. Death can be used in life, but you cannot kill innocent civilians in war. You can kill enemy soldiers. You ought to know the moral distinctions here. The lack of clarity is incredible. Where did you go to high school?
I'm talking about the Pope. I'm talking about the Pope's position, not mine. I'm not giving you my position, Pat. I'm talking about the Catholic Church position is a moral opposition to the death penalty and a moral opposition to abortion. It is morally opposed to both. That is the Catholic Church position. Your fight, Pat, your fight is with the Pope, not me.
Let me break into this discussion between you two eminent theologians.
Discussion.